That was a pass through.
I think it was. Okay. Good evening and welcome to planning committee meeting of, I like the word. 27th of August? No, I have the wrong agenda. Of the 10th of September, it's on my phone somewhere. Oh,
Is it? Yeah.
thank you very much. At least I got the date right. I did think it was quite thick. Agenda item number 1, apologies for absence. Councillor Plant is en route.
Yeah, is that right?
Sorry, Romans. Councillor Romans.
I was on route.
We're en route. Councillor Romans is en route.
Everyone has to say.
Everybody else is here. Agenda item number 2, declarations of interest.
Yeah. Can I just declare interest in the first one, the P24 S2192 LB, but I will stay here and take no part in the discussion.
Agenda item 3, minutes, approve the minutes of the 27th of August that they started out with.
I wasn't here.
Yeah, that's fine. Actually, I'll propose because I was here.
Yeah.
On the second. Nobody else was here.
I was
It
here.
was all a secret.
Right.
Okay. The 4th item agenda is the participation. Again, I'm faffing on it. Sorry. Not to cry that. Agenda item 5, plans new. Start with plans new, which the first one is the one that you said, Jill. P24 S2192 LB, the office station road. Julie?
Thank you. So yeah, this is a retrospective application to shop signage. One of those stickers, including acrylic signage to the fascia. The heritage officers commented and stated that although the sign does require replacing, it should be in accordance with the design guide. It should be using traditional materials and methods to ensure that it fits with the streetscape. And they've objected to the materials and methods used.
Councillor Hunt?
Exactly that. I mean, this is a building that really would benefit from keeping with the tradition. So, yeah, exactly as what the future based on.
Got a second, Councillor Thomas? Seconded. My only comment is that this is in a very, very tucked away location and he probably needs all the advertising he can get. However, it doesn't align with the shop front guide. But it is in a very secluded and hidden part. However, that all said, we've got a proposal and a seconder. Everybody else got to speak? All in favour? All against? P24 S2322 householder 3 Cold Harbour Close.
Yeah, so this is for the proposed garage conversion extension to that garage in the garden with 3 Cold Harbour Close. Concerns over the conversion and the extension of this. It probably should state that it's for an annex. If allowed, then there should be a condition ensuring that it's ancillary, and there's potential for overlooking onto the property to the south, and it could potentially impact on the street scene, contrary to design policies. There's 1 and there's 2.
Got to speak.
I think it's here we go again, isn't it? You know, fine, I'll do a condition that it's ancillary to the main house and a few years down the line on the separate dwellings. So, any society suggested refusal, and I would certainly suggest a refusal really on all those grounds, really.
Yes, got to speak. We got a second.
Yeah,
So I can say I'm 50-50. I'm always torn on these because development, if it's kept ancillary to the home, is I'm not against Mr. Atkins. Councillor Dodd says it does create a slippery slope, but we do at some point need to stay consistent to something. on these is the difficult thing. So I don't know whether we have a wider discussion at some point on exactly developments like this and where we draw lines and don't draw lines and how we have a detailed way of evaluating that each time. I don't know, because, you know, if it's used for its honest intention, we should be agreeing with planning permission based on. If it's going to provide a slippery slope, but then do we rely on the fact that future planning council should be as well informed as we are? I don't know.
Councillor Thomas.
Well, all I would add is that it does explicitly state that it's a bedsit. That's what it says.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure whether it is ancillary or whether it is a new dwelling.
I guess it's down to you, I think.
Yeah, so on that basis that it's going to be a separate property. I think we can only refuse it.
We only ask her to speak with proposal for refusal.
I have a question for the committee. If this was an application for a house, where would it stand?
Would be, well,
Would
it would be presented.
Okay, would it have an habitat need?
But it met those.
Yeah.
I mean, I looked at the garden. There's a couple of properties there where they've got really sizable gardens. So I wonder if the test is, if it was a house and it met the parking and the overlooking, we'd be probably guided to pass it. That's the thing that gets me on the 50-50.
That's what I'm saying, it's like,
Yeah.
it's a really hard criteria.
Yeah, there's no policy saying that you can refuse annexes just because they're, they could be separate
Potentially.
dwellings.
Yeah.
H20 of the local plan allows for such ancillary buildings or extensions to them, provided adequate parking and amenities, so you do have to consider that in your response.
So what they would have to do, if the intention is a completely separate dwelling, they'd have to provide us an additional plan for the parking for the main house.
Yeah, they would, yeah.
So we have to refuse it on the ground so far and let them come back with an amended plan maybe. But I'm surprised that none of the neighbours have said anything. Perhaps they just haven't got around to it yet. And why take out the hedge? What's wrong with the hedge? Anyway.
That's in the chat.
I think,
Yeah.
I think I'm minded to say no, but I
Okay,
reckon
we
if
just-
we get,
That's fine.
when we go to SODC,
Okay.
there's another one of these to get through. And we
So-
should
We've got a proposer and.
Yeah, I second it, yeah.
Councillor Thomas seconded. Will anybody else go to speak in it? All in favour? All against?
You're having a camp tonight.
jump. We jump.
I'm not aware of any policies that says we can't have it. I appreciate that and I wasn't gonna throw my oar in, but from my perspective, yes, we have had cornerstones, we've had a number of properties coming up. It wasn't clear really what the use was gonna be. You said it was a bed set, like you say, but I couldn't see any reason, any policy that says we shouldn't be doing this. I'm probably getting more. I was scrolling through the gov.uk and trying to work out, and the question I really have for you was in terms of, is there anywhere on the use type that says it's going to be for whatever? Because we can say that, and again, this will warrant this discussion in further approaches. It's not so much for discussion now. Give me a second. We're finished it. I say, well, I'll leave it for now.
Yeah, we've already had the debate,
Yes,
we voted,
exactly,
so it's kind of,
exactly.
just doesn't matter really.
Exactly.
Sorry.
No, you're right. P24 S2336 householder 20 Western Avenue.
I didn't have any concern. Is it okay?
Anybody have to?
Oh, I'm happy to speak to this. I mean, it's a large plot. You're talking about 20, yeah. It's a large plot. And when you look at it from the front, you think, oh, that looks really nice. And then when you look at it from the side, you think, oh, it's a really odd structure.
I did see that.
I mean, I don't know, but if you, yeah, go ahead. Just,
Councillor Jackson.
It's awful. just massing, scale, extensions at the front are always sensitive anyway, so if you're gonna do one, you've got to make it really work, and I don't think this works. If it came back to us again with a tweaked design, I think it would be good, but at the moment, I think they're quite handsome buildings, they sit as a grouping, I think there's about 4 with the 2 outriggers and 2 setback. Don't think this is happening at all.
My
I might have to say no, but let's go back and revisit the design and bring it back to us.
So my question to you is, if this isn't a conservation zone,
No.
there's no other example of this on that area.
No.
It is out of character.
It is
and
out of
of-
character.
And it does set a, not dangerous, but it does set a precedent for the street if this were to go ahead. And I think like Councillor Jackson was saying, I think they can do a better job to improve the street scene rather than what they're doing here. It's annoying really another 50/50, but I'll happily second refuse on those grounds. How does everyone else feel?
Is that a proposal
Well, I
for
think it was a cross.
Yes. the grounds of character and
Most of
design?
them, yeah.
That's fine, yeah.
And it's seconded?
Yeah.
And we have a proposal that's seconded. Anybody else got to speak? All those in favour? P24, S2499 full, land Fallen Meadows for the replacement fence.
Yes, this is conservation area and it's road one listed. The forestry officers requested further information, an agricultural method statement, and the heritage officer hasn't got any objection to the replacement. It's saying it's in a poor state of repair. And the health and safety risks to the public are noted, and the proposed design makes good on those two changes. So.
Sorry, can I just check, is this the applicant Henley Royal Regatta?
Yeah,
On which, sorry, apologies, I should declare an interest in this. Okay.
okay.
Councillor Knowles.
Super.
Anybody else got to speak to it? We have Councillor Jackson.
Approval subject to the agricultural thing,
Yeah.
I need a tree protection, method statement.
Yeah, well, that's any routes.
So we have a proposal for acceptance subject to the forestry officer agricultural statement. Anybody else got a comment?
Certainly needs doing,
Yeah.
and I do like this, it's really nice.
I am sure it's actually this one myself. So.
Yeah, but it's the
Sorry,
method.
no, I'm going to follow again.
Yeah,
So,
tree officer was quite concerned with this, he said, as long as that's all together.
proposal and seconded, proposal in favour, all in favour? Councillor Platt.
No, sir.
Thank you.
I was wondering how it worked.
I should have said to take the two of those
Together.
together,
Mm.
full on the list of building, apologies.
Happy
Are
to
we
do
okay
so.
to
Yeah.
treat them as one?
Yeah.
Okay, all in favour, yes. P24, S2572, householder at 1 Albert Road.
Yes, so this is within the conservation area, it's not listed. It's proposing to redevelop quite a lot, the property really, a lot of conversion. Lot of conversion, first floor and ground floor extension. Most of the changes are to the rear, but there are 2 roof lights to the front. There's very limited examples of loft conversions down this road or roof lights could have an impact on the street scene and the conservation area.
Did get a dormer on the side of the road, didn't we?
In 2 little dormers
Yeah.
at the front, but not roof lights.
Okay. Councillor Jackson.
I would recommend refusal on the grounds of the first floor outrigger. Went back to the location plan. North is at the top of the page, south is at the bottom. That massing is going to create a big shadow on the amenity space of the Graves Road property immediately beyond it. So they've got loss of sunlight, daylight and amenity because of the first floor part of that.
That section in white.
No, the
So
thing that's sticking out.
Right. Okay.
Is there no objections, isn't there?
No, but again, it's
Not
quite
yet.
early on, isn't it?
I would also, sorry, Councillor Platt.
I think it's just gone too far. It is just an overdevelopment. I know that that whole Albert Road, they've gone a long way to change them from Victorian terraces to incorporate a small rear extension and maybe a
Yeah.
bathroom upstairs in the common one with some roof lighting. I mean, this is just pushing it a little too far to what is possible, which I applaud for doing. And now come back with something slightly smaller and it'll be fun.
The one point I will make is that they seem to have started working it already.
Oh,
Well, it's hard work.
There's a lot of, if I walk out of the house and I look where it is, there is a lot of rubble. There are things being taken out. And if something's fallen down, they're just fixing it to make sure. But it looks as if they've started working. Councillor Thompson.
I also don't like that flat roof dormer at the back. I think that can be a pitch, it would look much nicer than 2 pitches. If they're going to go ahead with that, and I don't think skylights at the front are necessary. If there are no others along that street, then it should be pointed out.
So on the basis of, so we have a proposal for refusal. It's been-
Overdevelopment,
Yeah.
massive and unlabeled.
And
Yeah.
it also narrows as well. That's flawed.
And also the roof lights, yeah, the roof lights.
That's just destructive to the streets.
Okay.
Okay. All in favour of the proposal? All against? Nobody. P24 S2641, Mass River. 4 to 6 Church Street and new boundary treatment.
Yeah, so it's in the conservation area. They're replacing the current hedge and wall with a post-boarded fence, which is unfortunate in terms of impact on character and street scene and the conservation area.
Lots of biodiversity.
And
It's pretty unfortunate for a start there.
So someone's,
Yeah, I think I see all of your faces here, and I mean, I've just put a big question mark here. Why? I mean, why would you want to do that to your property? It's got a lovely little flint wall at the bottom, and with a lovely rounded edge to it, and a beautiful mature hedge. Why would you want to replace it with a horrible modern wooden panel? It's a really, really prominent, important building in that part of the conservation area as well. Very, very visible from lots and lots of different aspects of that road.
You don't need to water a fence.
that's blue.
I mean, that's this, this just comes back to a
You
simple.
don't need to water that
Biology.
hedge. It's mature enough to survive without being watered.
Refusal.
Yeah. Is it
Proposal.
not a listed building, this one? No. Okay.
Refusal.
conservation.
Sorry, can I just check who's proposing?
That's my proposal.
Yeah, I thought so. Proposal on the basis of.
Character.
Yeah,
conservation.
character,
Lots of diversity.
street scene, biodiversity, everything you can throw at it, throw at it.
Please.
Please, owners, please keep it.
That's not being a question.
And the Henry Society also say exactly what you're saying.
Yep.
Yeah, it'll affect the street scene, and I think it should be refused as well.
So we have a proposal, a seconder, councillor Plants.
Yep.
All in favour? And now for the highlight of tonight's meeting,
Yeah.
councillor Rowlands. Shall I take the three, do we take the three together or take them separate?
I think take the 3 together.
Right.
We're
We're going to take the three for tonight's farm together. Okay. Okay, would you like to speak?
So I'm going to attempt to summarise this very, very briefly. The FUL application and the S73 application are not due for, or the consultation period doesn't close till the 4th of October. But the DIS application closes on the 20th of September. So Jodie and I discussed this beforehand, and we wondered whether actually, well, I'll say what the issues are. So the Thames Farm Action Group have been on these applications as soon as they're registered. They've been summarising matters that their summary for the Shiplake Parish website was sent round to you all. And it is, I think, a good summary of the issues. The three councils, Harpsden, Shiplake and Henley, have all contributed towards an engineering report by JBA Associates. So they previously had done created reports on context file drainage applications, and I understand that will be available tomorrow afternoon. They've also requested quotes for acoustic and vibration advice. And we're just waiting to hear how much that is, and because it's shared, because the costs are shared between the three councils, the costs are quite low, and we can take money out of the professional fees budget, which is why come to yourselves, because we're talking a few £100. So that advice, once instructed, would come in within a couple of weeks, which would hopefully then be in time for the next committee meeting on the 24th of September. The concerns remain about, they still intend to grout the whole site pretty much, but they've put in new features for holding ponds. They're still intending to pump water around the site. I understand the JBA report has questioned the ability of the pond, like whether that would even work, because it'd be grouted underneath it, and so there's nowhere for the water to go. Their TFAG have also raised queries with SODC over the approval order of the applications, and said they think it makes more sense if the FUL application was considered first, and then the DIS, and then the S73. That there's no reply from SODC about that yet. That email went out yesterday, but I think the officer is on leave. So overall, it would seem that if the committee are still concerned about drainage, because the DIS application, which is the one that closes on the 20th of September, it's got the drainage strategy as part of it. You might want to consider whether you recommend refusal on that one, and then we just defer the FUL and the S73 to the next committee meeting when we'll find the engineering report. And hopefully there isn't vibration report as well.
I would look to the, I think overall we've had a lot of resistance to this for what we think is valid reasons, and to try and consider personally from a chair perspective, try and consider a discharge of conditions and drainage strategy without having full knowledge, I think is the wrong thing to be doing. And as such, I mean, I know, I think we're all the same, but if I, there's a carry more weight if I propose from the chair, I'm just
happy to
take it.
propose in this one.
Okay, think of it. Proposal from the mayor. Seconded from the deputy mayor. Carry as much weight as possible. Would anybody else care to speak? Councillor Thomas.
I think we need to offer a meeting again with Shiplake and Harpsden and even Walgrave maybe, because it's not just about the drainage here, it's about the protection of the drinking water of thousands of people, because Thames Water draws the water supply from the aquifer, which is right underneath this piece of land. We cannot have this. So I think this time our MP got involved. Do you know if our MP is involved at all? Do you happen
He's
to know?
definitely commented on what's happening so far.
He needs to get to the Secretary of State, because this is currently lodged with the Secretary of State for a decision. So he needs to get, he really needs to get onto this quickly.
Put the order around it. We could have a meeting with Shiplake, Henley and Harpsden,
Yeah,
but is that just to request?
we
for-
just need to do everything really, really quickly. So we need to get our MP writing to the Secretary of State and to SADC. We need to offer a meeting to Shiplake, Harpsden and possibly Walgrave and the TFAG as well. And also the BBC did run the story about this when it first came up, and perhaps they should be updated with the latest, because I cannot believe that we are so many years down the line and Taylor Whitby are still trying to get this over the line. I mean, they keep pushing with different ridiculous ways of getting the water off this site. Flipping, they're talking about balancing loads and concrete holding, you know, vessels and things like this. It's just nonsense. I mean, oh God, I'd just love to be a fly on the wall when they come up with these sorts of ideas.
It doesn't appear they just want to
Utterly
try and
ludicrous.
get through my crook.
Dare they try and do this and sacrifice the drinking water of thousands of people with this scheme? Let alone all of the ridiculous, I mean, what about, how safe is this even? You know, with two quite big concrete tanks full of water. I wouldn't want to live in a place like that.
Mr Chairman, does this mean that no one can ever build on that site if it's the aquifer
Well,
is the
what,
big problem?
So
And
my-
they never ever,
my
because they didn't do
understand-
their research.
I understand, and they didn't do the research. My understanding is that it is because of the number of houses, so it was 110 or 118.
Okay.
And it's now come down to 95. So they're trying to balance the amount of land with the surface water, the amount of water there is, the climate change, everything else like that. The underlying cavities is one thing.
Yeah,
The aquifer sits further on down.
Yeah.
But in trying to fill those holes, pump and grouting
yeah.
has the potential to then disturb the aquifer and then whatever. But from a surface water drainage perspective, there is nowhere for it to go.
there's nowhere for it to go.
Yeah. Councillor Roy.
So it does seem to me that there are some sites that are just never going to be suitable to be built on. I can't say for certain whether this is one of them, but I certainly can't support this until I am certain that the risks that have been identified have either been addressed, or I can be certain that whatever they're planning is not having this effect. So this application doesn't show that, as far as I can tell.
The one thing I would say is that if Wyville have managed to get 50 houses built,
Yes.
50 houses seems to have gone through okay, and they're in construction.
Slightly different with their,
It is slightly different.
it's not a serious void
No,
underneath there. It's
But
not
also
serious.
it's the size of it as well from 50.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Density per hectare,
Yeah.
down with this current.
Yeah, I'm sure,
Get around density.
yeah, I'm sure if Taylor Wimpey put up 20 homes, it wouldn't need this kind of intensive kind of intervention. But yeah, I mean, they've even got the cheek to say, right, as soon as we built this network of roads, we want the council to adopt it and we'll wash our hands of it. So that you have to maintain it and come up with all of the you know, the maintenance for the masses of issues it's going to cause as a, you know, with all of these balancing ponds and whatever's going on. The pumps, I mean, can you imagine all the pumps failing?
Yeah. I never have. Okay, we
So
have,
can we do that?
yes, we have a proposal for
MP,
refusal.
Shiplake, Harpston, Wargrove and the BBC.
We voted for, have we done the vote for the proposal yet? We proposed, and I
Refusal.
seconded, did we vote for it?
No.
We haven't voted.
That's what I thought. Proposed, seconded, all in favour of refusal? All against? And then the potential second actions in fact, either further the others. And we would like to put a letter, sorry.
It was to do with the letter. Who is the most appropriate person to write it? Can we write it as committee, maybe you as chair, and send it on behalf of the committee? Or is it best coming from you as the deputy clerk at the meeting? Because I think we should send off the letter. I think we should have the committee vote to do so, to carry even more weight.
Okay,
If that is allowable.
Discuss the letter, the phrase.
so it's not on the agenda, however,
We can have that.
can we, do we vote to add?
Well, the other two are coming back, aren't they?
Yeah, so they're being deferred until, we're refusing the discharge and we're leaving the other two.
So we could bring it.
We can bring it back on the agenda next time.
But this is to write to, for say, intervene with the
So we can
secretary.
still pass that now, though.
I think we can pass that out, 'cause it's to do with an item on the agenda.
We can pass that now.
So can I propose that what's best of the committee would like to
I'm happy,
request that our MP represents.
I'm happy for that to go on, if that's okay.
Yeah, do we progress that
Yeah.
now?
Yeah.
So we have a proposal to write a letter to Freddie MP, ask him to intervene on certain date.
It's
Proposed,
really urgent.
seconded, Councillor Thomas. All in favour?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And think that's the end of the current plans. There's nothing we want to call in.
The hedge.
Calling the hedge.
Two hedges.
I think we'll leave that. Decision notices, agenda item number 7. P24S 2360 is the building hotel the VAT. I'm not going to read that, these are just a note. Okay. Secondly, all in favour. We have a certificate of lawful development. Wisteria House, Walton Avenue. Agenda item number 9, permitted development application for 9 Newtown Gardens. That's not, it's a verbal, wasn't it?
Yeah, just to note.
Yeah, okay. So we've noted it. And agenda item number 10, MPPF, Jodie.
Yeah, so we discussed the consultation response at the last meeting, but we have full councillors there. So we thought it best to bring it back to the next meeting. The neighbourhood plan committee meeting discussed it on the 20th of August. The response has been drafted and sent round. So I was just going to check if you have any comments, then let me know. If you want any additional.
Do you want them verbally, or would you like me to write them
You don't
down?
write them in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay, yeah, I've just got a few.
yeah, that's fine.
Although one of them maybe perhaps should be decided by committee, because I'm not sure we actually kind of took a vote on this particular one. There was something that I was keen to get in, which is any social, you know, and perhaps this should be dealt with separately, and perhaps that's why you left it out. Any social housing, you know, the right to buy scheme that's been in place since the 1980s, that needs to be completely, you know, overhauled or withdrawn. Because I looked at the figures, there's 1.21 million people on the waiting list for social housing. We're spending £15.6 billion a year on housing benefit. And there are 145,000 children who are homeless at the current time. I mean, given all of those, I mean, I don't understand why we've still got that policy in place.
I did make a reference to it in one of the responses, but it's not, it doesn't fall within the MPPF consultation.
Yeah.
There will be a
But
separate
it's just,
consultation. on it.
there's just one place where you could put free form comments in.
Yeah, okay.
And if you didn't want to put particular figures down, I mean, I don't know what the committee feel about this. You may be totally against what I'm saying, and I don't want to speak for anybody else. But perhaps just put in there if everybody's in agreement that that policy needs to be looked at by government.
We can reference that.
I don't know if the chair, if he wants to take it.
I have
Feel the
no
need to
issue
take
with
a
that.
vote.
I have no issue with that. I think I would agree with what you say. The concept of right to buy from times have changed. We need to review. We would like to review.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, we've just approved to do, oh, sorry, did you, sorry.
Yeah, just to back up what you're saying, councillor Thomas, I mean, there's been a lot of stuff in the press recently about Angela Rayner actually wanting to get rid of help to buy, right to buy. And the view is the scheme is outdated due to various reasons, so for once, the government might actually listen.
Yeah, and this should come back to the committee as part of the consultation. So we can reference it in this, but it'll be discussed again.
Yeah, no, but I mean, Rick, you put it in beautiful planning speak for us, you know, it's really, really good, thank you. Good.
Agenda item number 11, progress report for applications called in. Yes. Progress report for applications called in. The amount, the one I will call out is London Newtown Road has been refused, I believe.
Yeah.
It's for the changes. To the traffic. They're still keeping the things there. We only called in St Mark's Road last week, and the amount has been on for a number of nothing on the mind. Agenda item 12. Hold on. Thank you very much.
I was like, there's all.
Yeah. It's because I was looking at this 27th of August, and we did a separate set of